Hi again, everyone. This video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. First of all, thank you for doing what you do. I have learned so much that has helped me to see that no contact is the only way, that you have to have a plan secretly and quietly to succeed. I didn't know how much to donate, and I don't have a lot of resources, so I did the best I could. My narc parents raised me to not question anything, to not think for myself, and to do whatever they said or I got beat. I grew up very naive because of this. My parents knew this family down the street and how they were just as evil as them, and these people had a son who was a narcissist. I guess my mom could spot them from a distance because I remember her watching for him to drive by our house, and she would make me go to the door, dress skimpily, and wave to him to get his attention. Jesus. Then she sent my brother to their house to tell him I was interested in him, even though I was aghast and begged her not to. She then sent me to walk past his house until he came out and talked to me. On the first date, he told me he loved me, and he expected me to say it back, then proceeded to flirt with people on that date in front of me. I didn't think anything of it because of my mindset at that time. I was only 16 and he was 21. What? Your mother basically turns you into a streetwalker to parade your assets around for a 21-year-old and you're 16. My mom got this guy to propose and marry me within 2 years of our meeting, and I was so desperate to get away from my parents, I agreed. I didn't think for myself, and it didn't dawn on me that I could have just moved into my own apartment because I had a job and a car at the time. I feel so stupid. I married this guy and didn't need, and you know what? That I feel so stupid. That's a feeling we all get once we see the light and we go no contact and we see that we could have made different choices and why didn't you see it, and then you blame yourself for being stupid. I married this guy and he didn't even provide a honeymoon. My mom did, and it was in our hometown in a crummy hotel where I spent the weekend trapped in a hotel room with my husband while he watched wrestling. I was always taught in church that you don't get divorced, and my parents threatened me not to embarrass the family, so I didn't think it was an option. Throughout our marriage, he cheated on me, took our money and spent it on himself, leaving me barely enough to pay the bills. He would rage at me when I questioned him or asked him not to spend the money because we needed groceries. My parents would drop in and my mom noticed we didn't have any food. So I assumed to get me back under her thumb, she appealed to my husband's lazy and greedy side and talked him into us moving in with them. Now I had 3 narcs abusing me. She got him to talk me into having a baby, which I really didn't agree to. He told me he wanted a baby while he was in me and proceeded to make it happen right then. He never helped me with the 2 children, and we had never spent time with them, and tried to take money for their formula and diapers to spend on himself. He had rage fits and became physically violent with me. My parents knew all of this and didn't do anything. I came home sick from work unexpectedly one day and caught my husband and mother alone in our bathroom with the door shut and the shower going. They acted like nothing had happened and dared me to say something. I thought something was wrong with me, and that's why he didn't want anything to do with me. He would rather masturbate than have sex with me, and when he did have sex with me, he would only do it if I wore lingerie, and he watched porno while he slapped me and pulled my hair and pinched me. He wanted me to have bleach blonde hair and a boob job, and I refused. I set out trying to change myself to try to make him change, and then I started maturing mentally. I realized it wasn't me, that it was him, so I set out to help change him. Big mistake, I know. I tried everything, books, DVDs, counseling, nothing worked. We were in a store at one point, and I had our baby and toddler. He made me go with him while in the store. He took our money for a bill to buy himself something. I tried to talk sense into him that it was money for a bill, and that the owner of the store told me to shut up. It was between him and my husband. I was aghast and looked at my husband to take up for me, and he told me to go wait outside. I got mad and raised my voice, and the store owner told me to leave his store or he was calling the police. I started crying and asked my husband for the car keys, and he wouldn't let me have them, so I had to stand outside in the heat with my children. At this point, I had enough, so I asked him for a divorce. He flew into a rage, ripping his t-shirt off, and went and got a loaded gun and cocked it and threatened me that if I tried to leave, he would kill me and my whole family, and that if I tried to sneak away, he would take our children and disappear. My mom witnessed the whole thing and wouldn't let me call the cops or my dad, who was out of town. I tried to tell my brother, and he said he didn't want to get involved and found it hard to believe that it was true and said that I was exaggerating. I figured I was trapped and stayed because I still didn't think of myself, and it didn't dawn on me that I could wait till no one was there and take my kids and go to the police station. I am mad at myself for that. My mom was watching my kids while I worked and told me that I had to find other arrangements because she wasn't watching them anymore. I couldn't afford daycare, so I had to quit my job. My husband then conveniently totaled my paid-off car, so I didn't have a car then. At that point, I was trapped at home with no job and no car. Don't think any of that's a coincidence either. Because the narcissist will start sabotaging your life in order to gain control. That's what they do. Your mother put you out there at 16 years old because she wanted to fuck your husband. She wanted him for herself. She wants to control you, fuck your husband, have you live under her roof, okay, and then suggest you not only move in there and then have 2 kids while you're living there. This woman is using you for her ultimate supply. As bad as your husband is, your mother is worse, and your father's enabling it. My mom and husband wouldn't allow me to have friends and chased all mine off. I focused on trying to give my children as normal as a childhood as I could and tried to stand in between them and my narcs. I raised them to be good, moral, strong people. They have since found out the truth about my parents and husband and our extended family, who are all narcs. My brother is the golden child. They are now 18 and 22 and are standing by me against all of them. We have been abused and trapped by these people for years. Me and my son and daughter have been quietly planning to get away, and we are almost finished with our plan. Lately, we have been standing up to them, and so now they don't want us anymore, to our relief, and they are ready to discard us, and they want us to hurry so they can move on to their dream lives they are planning. My husband spends all of his time on his Facebook page flirting with women, exchanging phone numbers with them, planning dates, and posting hundreds of selfies of himself, and posting all these posts that paint him as a good guy, Christian, protector, provider, victim, and good guy. He never bought me anything or took me out while we were married, yet he goes to all these parties and dinners that cost money and get in, and I recently found out that he bought a $2,000 assault rifle and hundreds of dollars worth of accessories to go with it, including a 100-round drum for the ammo. Oh, did I mention he's a cop? He's a cop living his whole life with your in-laws? With his in-laws? Yeah, I know. I don't want to confront him or my parents. I tried that, and all I get is talking in circles, and they just don't get anything you try to tell them. Then they fly into rages and try to change the subject and never answer your direct questions. It's just not worth it. Also, my husband told me that he is friends with the judge where he works and has told him many things about his situation here at home, which I'm sure made him look like the victim. So this is my warning not to try anything. I just want them to leave civilly. I just want them to leave civilly and quietly, which is why I am playing nice while I am planning. And then when I get them out of my house, I'm going full permanent no contact, as is my son and daughter. My son and daughter have had to live with in this their whole lives, and I had to be trapped and abused by my parents from birth, then trapped and abused by my parents and husband until now. I am almost 48. If my husband had let me go when I asked, my children could have had a better life, and I could have maybe been able to meet a normal, decent man and had a different life. They have taken so much from us, and I feel like I am old and worn out, and no one will want me now. I am also having to start over at 48 years old. I am so tired, I don't know how I am going to go back to work and do what I'm going to need to do. I know 48 is young, but I feel 70. I was born with mild scoliosis and have 3 bulging discs in my back from having to do all the yard work and house maintenance chores. I had to do all the bills, take care of both kids, do all the housework and chores outside, run all the errands, and work full time. I had to have a hysterectomy because at 15 my mom put me on birth control because I had painful periods. The birth control caused me to get endometritis, tumors, and ovarian cysts. It got so bad that after I had my children, I had to have a hysterectomy, and I have problems from that. I am struggling with anger at the fact they have trapped me and my children and took so much from us all these years, and now my life is in shambles, and I am having to start over with nothing, not even retirement, because I used that when I quit to pay off our remaining debt. My husband has a high-paying job with retirement, and my parents have a large Social Security checks, and they get to skip away to their wonderful new lives, full of a new circle of friends they have recently created, while I will be struggling and suffering. No, actually not. You are entitled to half your husband's police pension. Oh, yes, you are. Oh, yes, you are. He wasn't a cop when you met him. You've been married to him long enough where you are entitled to full benefits. That means when you go through a divorce, and they do a forensic analysis of what his pension is worth, you can get that pension up front, half of it, and it's going to be worth a lot. It's going to be worth a lot. I can't afford to pay rent somewhere. I tried my whole life to be the perfect daughter and never embarrass or disrespect my parents. And I tried to be the perfect wife, and my parents have told me I didn't turn out like they wanted, and that I am disrespectful and ungrateful. I gave and gave and gave and got nothing, and now I am left with nothing. Me and my husband are still legally married, even though we are separated and living in separate parts of the house. But he is already dating and flirting. It seems disrespectful and degrading to me. I just feel like you should wait until you are not legally married before you do this. I know from my donation information you can probably figure out my name. So please don't contact anyone about what he is doing or report him being he is in law enforcement, because he could send a swarm of people on me and my son and daughter. We just want to get them quickly and quietly out of our lives with no drama so they don't retaliate and harass us, because at this point they are being civil while still abusing, because they are looking forward to discarding us and starting their new fantasy lives. My golden child brother is also a cop where my husband works, and my mom's brother is a cop too. My problem is that I didn't do anything wrong except to stay, and they have taken so much from me, and I have righteous anger, rage about it all, and I can't get past the anger I am feeling about all of it. I just want to get past that and go on with my life, but I just can't. I'm sorry this email is so long. I didn't intend it to be that way, but you feel the need. But I felt you needed these details to get the full picture. I would really appreciate any advice you have about how I can get over these feelings of injustice and being disrespected and the anger at what they have taken from me. Thank you, Ollie. The mistake I made in my divorce was the postponement, was the thinking we were keeping everything civil. You're not. Because I don't know if you have the divorce attorney, I assume you do or not. Once they get into the details of the divorce, look, most states are no fault divorce states. It doesn't matter who did what to who. Okay? So, keep in mind you're not going into divorce court to prove anything. They may try that, but you're not. The divorce laws are written as they are written. It's a 50-50 split of assets, including his pension. This meaning, once he realizes his badge doesn't top divorce law, because it really doesn't. Family court, custody stuff, you can do some fucky shit with. Divorce decrees, unless you're going to sit there and fight over assets, okay, they're cut and dry, but there's nothing to fight over. You've been married to him an X amount of years, you're automatically locked into what you're entitled to get. He has the full-time job with the pension. So my point being, he's going to realize that. And it's going to get ugly anyway. Your parents are going to get worse anyway. You need to get out as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible, because this is going to get bad. You're only separated. You're sitting there. He's gaslighting you, shoving it in your face, just like your mother was when she was banging him in the bathroom, because that's what was going on in there. That's why you ended up married to him, because she wanted him. And it was the ultimate form. It is the ultimate form of supply for her. This is going to get worse. This is going to get much, much worse. And what will happen is, once he realizes that you're entitled to get what you're entitled to get, that's when the push to reconcile is going to come. Wait for it. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And it's going to be a tag team effort from the whole family. Guaranteed. You are just at the beginning of this. You are nowhere near the end. You are nowhere near the end. You need to be making arrangements to get out of that house ASAP. And I would move to a different town from the police department that they work in. because that's when the harassment and all that other stuff is going to start. Because that kind of shit they can do. Ticket your car, tow your shit, get you locked up for stupid stuff. So I understand you're trying to avoid that. That's why you need to get out, but you need to get out. And then don't fight the divorce. Let your lawyer handle all of it. But this is going to get worse. And the feelings of injustice you're never going to get over. I have to be honest with you. You're never going to get over it because the narcissist is never going to pay for what they did in the way we want them to. They are never going to stand up and allocute and admit in front of a room full of people who they've been manipulating and they have been telling lies that they've been all been bullshit to manipulate you because they're a narcissist or they got borderline and they're a bad person and they did it to hurt people, to hurt you, and all the lies they told. You're never going to get that, so you're never going to get over the feelings of injustice. The justice we get is in no contact when we don't have them in your life anymore, where they're not there still torturing you face to face. But the feelings of injustice are always going to be there. That's reality. This is why it's so devastating. This is why I get mad when I see these online, these Facebook pages and government pages about feeling sorry for people with borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder. Fuck that. People destroy others' lives purposefully. Purposefully. Your mother paraded you out on the street at 16 years old. Probably some kind of cop fraternity, because we know cops are entitled little babies. Creepy as shit. Your mother prostituted you for your own purposes, and that's why you're in the situation you're in now. So, thank you so much for your contribution. I realize what you're going through. Money is tight, so I really do appreciate it, and you have nothing to feel guilty about. You really don't. And thank you for the story. I hope the video helped. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a narcissist you'd like to expose, or a topic you'd like me to cover, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ali Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.